Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Locrine, and we get to hear from Ate again today in Act 2, Scene 1, which is sort of the prologue to Act 2, but we need to finish up with Act 1 first, because there is an Act 1, Scene 4. So in Act 1, Scene 2, remember we met Brutus, and he crowned Locrine and said that Locrine should marry Gwendolen if that was okay with everybody, and they're all like, yep, and then he split up the rest of his kingdom into you, son, take the north, and you, son, take the south, and everybody was like, cool. And in Act 1, Scene 3, we met Strumbo, who's in love with Dorothy, but he's so eloquent that she can't understand him. So she had to say, please tell me very plainly what it is that you mean. And he said, I love you, will you marry me? And she was like, oh yeah, that's cool. And that was the end of Act 1, Scene 3. Act 1, Scene 4 is a super short scene, but it's Locrine and Gwendolen and Corineus and Camber and sort of the whole crew that was there in Act 1, Scene 2. And Locrine comes out and he's like, okay, now that we've buried my dad, it's kind of time to go for me to go get married to Gwendolen. So we're all going to watch that. And they're like, yes, my lord, we're glad that you're going to go marry Gwendolen. He's like, okay, let's go. We'll marry Gwendolen. So it's sort of like, it's almost like it's a 3-line scene that goes from funeral to wedding in the 3 lines, but that's that. So Act 2, Scene 1 is another dumb show that Ate comes out and tells us what it's about. And the dumb show basically depicts the kidnapping of Andromeda when she's stolen away from Perseus. So that all happens. There's other people there. There's a little bit of fighting, and then they leave with Andromeda. And then Ate comes out and says, Regit omnia numen. When Perseus married fair Andromeda, the only daughter of King Cephus, he thought he had established well his crown, and that his kingdom should for aye endure. But lo, proud Phineus, with a band of men, contrived of sunburnt Ethiopians, by force of arms the bride he took from him, and turned their joy into a flood of tears. So fares it with young Locrine and his love. He thinks this marriage tendeth to his weal. But this foul day, this foul, accursed day, is the beginning of his miseries. Behold, where Humber and his Scythians approach nigh with all his warlike train. I need not I, the sequel, shall declare what tragic chances fell out in this war. So once again, the dumb show isn't necessarily about Perseus and Andromeda, but it's drawing a correlation. The same as the lion and the bear and the archer was telling us that Brutus was going to die, basically. This dumb show is telling us that even though Locrine thinks he's happy now marrying Gwendolen and thinks that everything's going to be cool, it's not that. Because remember, this play is a revenge tragedy. This is not a comedy, which is why we have a marriage at the end of Act 1, so that things can go straight downhill after that. So Ate comes out and tells us that now we're going to see, just like we just watched Andromeda get kidnapped, now Locrine and Gwendolen are going to go through some stuff. And we will get into that stuff in future monologues. So come on back tomorrow for more. Mwah.